Okay, good morning. We'll start with, I hope you'll be knowing me. I'm Drakshamini in the MCA department. I'm working here since from long time, more than decade. Before that, I was in Ramaya. So this was my small introduction. So next we move on. So this semester I'll be handling you Java theory as well as Java lab. So before that, anything you want to discuss? You can feel free to ask me anytime. If you not able to get anything, any matter related to Java, you can come to me. So till the lockdown, I hope you will be knowing we are conducting online classes. So after lockdown gets closed, then the classes will be offline. So this is about this thing. So and as we you all know that you may have uh, gap for your first semester exams, so it will be better for us to cover up as much as possible as early as possible. Okay, so now we start with Java. So I hope you people have studied Java already in BCA. Can anyone say yes if you have studied? Anybody studied Java already? Okay. Okay, fine. So before we move on, uh, so what is your syllabus? What are the things we are covering? Thing we'll be seeing. So this is object-oriented programming with the Java. It is a second semester, and the subject code. I hope you have to remember. It is 10 MCA 22, uh, and the theory lab theory is this module, and the lab session I'll be covering you on in your lab period. So I hope you will be knowing Thursday DBMS madam is taking, and Tuesday I'll be handling for all 60 students till the online classes for all 60. So that's on Tuesday, and Wednesday web lab will be there. So that's what small clearance. And before we start, so first we should know what you'll be learning from this subject. So we have five EVOs. So where you people will be learning how to demonstrate the basic programming constructs of Java and OOPS concepts to develop Java program for a given scenario. Then illustrate the concept of generalizing and runtime polymorphism application to develop reusable components. CO3, so demonstrate the usage of package interface exceptions and multi-threading in building Java applications. So that's about your third CO. So first you should know what is CO. CO means course outcome. So what is this course? What course you are learning? You are learning a Java. So what type of Java? It is object-oriented programming with Java you are learning. So in that all these, at the end of this course, you'll be learning all these. So then CO4 apply enumerations, wrappers, outboxing, collections of framework, input output operations, coding. For any given problem, you should be in a position to write a simple programs. Then implement the concept of applets. Will be you're learning about applets, networking using Java, and small last module you'll be learning about a network module. So this is about your COs. So next we move on to the modules. So in the module one, so we'll be learning about Java programming fundamentals. So what are the basic things about Java? So what is Java language? What are the key attributes of object-oriented programming? What is JDK? Then we start with simple program. Then we move on with keywords, identifiers, class libraries with respect to Java. And we start with the data types and operators. So that's what your primitive types, literals, a closer look at variables, scope and the lifetime of variables, operator, shorthand assignments. All these you'll be learning in the first module. Along with that, you'll be learning about program control statement, that is how to take a value from a keyboard. Then you would have studied in other languages like if statement, nested if else ladder, switch statement, nested if statement, for loop, then enhanced for loop, while do, while use break. So these things we will be covering in the again the same first program. Along with that, we are going to start with class, object, and method. So what is class fundamental? How objects are created, reference variables and assignment, methods running from a method, returning value using parameter, all these constructor, parameterized constructor, new operator, what is garbage collection, what is finalizer, and this keyword. So then more on data types, arrays, multi-arrays, array declaration syntax, assigning, reference using length member, then for each style how you are taking, then string. Then we move on string handling. In string handling, what is a string constructor, three string related language features, length. So some methods, built-in functions with the string. So I want to find out the length of the string, then we have a built-in function called as a length. In the same way, methods, obtaining the characteristic with the string, string comparison, then using the index of, I want to know what is using the index. I want to find out what is the first, last index. So these things, these we use with the built-in functions. So in the same way, changing the case of a character with the string, string buffer and a string builder. So this was about your first module. All these, whatever we have just read out, that was about your first module. So next we move on to the module 2. In module 2, we are covering about controlling the access to the class members. So how the classes, how we are creating the classes, how the objects, passing objects to methods, passing values to the methods, arguments are passed. So returning the objects, method overloading and overloading, constructor, recursion, understanding static, nested and inner classes, and variable arguments, then variable length arguments we see. Along with that, we see in your second module inheritance. So inheritance you would have seen in other C++, same way here also. We see about inheritance, member access and inheritance, constructors and inheritance using superclass. A keyword, we have something called as a superclass. We see all these in this inheritance. Along with that, multi-level hierarchy, what are the different types of inheritance. So how to construct, execute a superclass and reference subclasses, method overloading, overriding, overriding methods, polymorphism, method overloading using abstract class, then using final. So all these we see in the second module. Next, we move on to the interface. So instead of using in my inheritance, so we have a problem with multi-level inheritance. So to avoid that, to overcome that problem, we are using interfaces. So what is this interfaces? We see them, it is just an abstract where it is not, it is similar like class, but where the implementation cannot be done in interfaces. We'll see in depth about the interfaces in the interface classes, interface chapter. So interface fundamentals we see, then how to create interface, how to implement an interface, then using interface references, how we do, then how do we implement multiple interface, then constraints in interfaces, what are the different constraints we have in the interface, we'll see them. So the nested interface, how the interfaces can be extended, we'll be seeing in the interface chapter how the interface can be extended, then what is nested interface, then finally we see about what is final through the interface. Okay, then we see about, we start with the packages. So what is package fundamental? 1 second, someone is asking for admit, let me admit them. See, now they are joining, huh? Okay, package fundamentals we'll be seeing package, member access, import package, and static method. So along with that, we see about exception handling. You would have seen in C++, how the exceptions are, how they are handled. We use a try-catch block. Here also same way we use a try-catch block, how to handle the exception when there is an error, runtime error, compile time error. All these you know, but still we study here also. So how these exceptions can be handled. So exception hierarchy, how the exception is, then handling exception, then consequences of uncaught exception in case of if we don't try to. So you people, if you keep joining in middle, I have to start admitting you and it becomes time for me. So try to join as soon as the class starts. I don't want you people to join in the middle and disturb me, giving you a permissions to keep joining. Yes. Then exception handling, enabling you to handle the errors. Then multiple try catch. So how should we use a try and catch for multiple times? Then except subclasses in the exception, nested try and catch. So how many try things we can use. So then throwing how the exceptions, closer at look of throwable. So we have a throws, throwable. We'll see all these. Along with that, built-in exception. What are the different built-in exceptions are available? So then new exception, we use a new exception features. Then we see about the latest version of Java, that is JDK 7. So we will see in the few classes, in couple of our classes, what are the different uh, versions we have in a Java development kit. So what is this JDK? JDK is a Java development kit. This is about your second module. So next we move on to a third module, that is a multi-threaded programming. So what is this multi-threaded programming? So if suppose if I want to complete my syllabus, or other example, okay, I have to complete one project that should complete within 6 months. I don't have time. So then what I'll do, I'll give to my students and I'll ask, I'll divide that into different modules. So then I give each module to each student and I'll ask them to complete within a month. So then all of you will complete within a month and give me back all your modules. Then what I do, I start combining them. So then what I can do, a maximum I can complete within a 2 months. So that's how here we have done our work. How did I do? I have given the work distributed. So in the same way here, in multi-threading, what we do, multi means many. So we give this, I want my work to be done, to be completed very fast. Then we are using a multi-threaded programming. Not you, the operating system will be using. So how it is been done? That's what we'll be seeing here, multi-threaded fundamentals. Then what is a thread class? What is runnable interface? How to create a thread? How to create a multiple thread? How to determine when a thread ends? Then priorities, which one should be priority? If now CM and the ordinary people, whom should I give a priority? So like this, we see them. Along with that, we see synchronization method. What are the statement, how the communication, what is notify, wait, then notify all, suspending, resuming back, so then stop. So this we see in the multi-threading. Along with that, we see about our enumerations, then out of box, auto boxing, and annotations. So we see in this module. So enumeration, Java enumerations, what are the class type, what is values of, what are the methods, what is a constructors, what are the methods, what is a instance variable, what are enumerations, out of boxing, then metadata. So we see all these in the module 4. Coming back to the last module. So in the last module, we are going to see about a networking with Java. So what is the network fundamentals? are the network fundamentals we have? What is networking class? So now we are, every one of us using something, and we have come together. So what we are using? We are using a Google Meet. So what it is? It is one internet tool where we are using that tool and trying to come together. So can any other person come and join to this? No. Why? Because it is only for second semester. We have distributed only for the second semester students. So only the second semester students can be allowed here. So that's how here the restrictions are there. So in the same way, even in the networking, we see how which network used, how it is used, what are the URLs, what are the connections we have, what is a class connection, URL connection we are using, what is HTTP URL connection. All these we see in the fifth module. So little not in depth, a brief touch upon networking technology. Along with that, that's about networking fundamentals, networking class, interface, internet address class, socket class, URL class, then URL connection class, then HTTP URL connection class. Then we see about a collection frames. So this will be the last topic for your syllabus, that is collection. How do we collect them? We'll see in depth when we move on to the module 5, collection overview. What is the recent changes to the collection? What is the collection interface? What is a collection class? How do I access the collection via an iterator? How do I store using a defined class in a collections? Then random access interface, working with maps, comparators, algorithms, what is generic collection, what is legacy classes and interfaces. So we'll be seeing about all these in the last module. Coming back to your textbooks, though I have mailed you, I have sent you the syllabus copy for you in your Google Classroom, where you can see the textbooks, what you have to refer for Java. So for Java fundamentals, a comprehensive introduction by a Herbert Shield. So this is what the textbook which you have to refer. And they have even mentioned what are the chapters you are covering in the Java fundamental book. So you have to check out with 1 to 26 chapters will covered in the first textbook, and only one chapter is covered in the complete reference Herbert Shield, that is chapter 7. Not only these textbooks, but still you can refer other textbooks, reference books, Java programming by Hari Mohan, and one more black book, you can refer them. Then last book, Java 2, Pearson, Java 6, which I told you it is a black book, which you can refer them if in as a reference book. But the textbooks which you have to have, or you can take it from a library, Java Fundamentals and Herbert Shield. The first book will be covering you maximum chapters, and the second book will be covering only first chapter, only one chapter. Okay, that's about your syllabus. Next, we move on to your class. Today, we start with first module. So, what is the first module says to you? So, what we are learning here is object-oriented programming with Java. So, that's how your syllabus title says to you. So, everything you learn in the form of object-oriented programming. So, whatever you have studied in C++, the same concepts we'll be studying even here, but with respect to Java. So we see them one by one, how we do it. So that's what here just I have explained how the COs are, CO1 to CO5. At the end of the course, you'll be in a position to know all these things. You'd start from 1, you'll be able to write a small programs. You'll be able to, you'll be using all the polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, so many things. Along with that, you'll be able to demonstrate package, interface, exception, multi-threading in the Java application. Along with that, we'll be learning about enumeration, wrapper, autobox, collection frameworks, and input. And the last CO will be using the applets and the networking. So networking concepts in the Java. So this is about your end of course and service, where at the end you'll be learning all these. Okay, so now start with the first module. So in the first module, what we are learning is, first is Java programming fundamentals. First, we start with what are the fundamentals we have to know about the Java. So what we are learning, Java language, key attributes of object-oriented programming, and what is JDK. And we start with simple program, and we see how, what are the keywords, what are the identifiers, what are the library classes in Java. Okay. So we start with the Java language. Can anyone say how this Java is different from C and C++? Can anyone respond? Can anyone respond?
Threading and...
That is a main thing in Java, the difference between C and C++. What is C? When we have C and C++, why we have to learn Java?
Ma'am, C is a structured language and
Procedure-oriented, object-oriented.
Java is object-oriented.
Yeah, good. It's true. What we have done initially, we have seen, someone now they are joining. What is happening? Your presentation to everyone. Okay. Okay. So the difference between Java and C++, C and C++. C was the initial thing. Before C, we were having so many other things like Pascal, Fortran. So those languages were also there. But later, C was this Fortran and Pascal, other COBOL. All these were like high-level languages, but they were using a pseudocodes, and it was a bit difficult for human beings to remember so many things. But if it is like English like language, it will be better for human being to understand. That's how the C has come. So then C, what was the problem with the C is, it is a one by one. Whenever you see any program, it is a procedure. So it should start from first line, second line, third line, fourth line, and skipping some lines, coming back. We have still loops and so many things, but it was difficult. Along with that, there are so many other drawbacks in C and C++. That's how the Java has come to existence. We'll see how, what is the history, everything. So Java is an object-oriented programming language. So who developed this Java was developed by Sun Microsystems. So this was a company where they were trying to find out whatever the disadvantages were there, trying to find out, and they come up with Java. That's how the Sun Microsystem company, best known for its high-end Unix workstation. So then Java modeled after C++. You'll be knowing first C, then C++, then Java. So whatever features were there in C and C++, even it is there in Java also. So the Java language was designed to be small, simple, and portable across platforms and operating system, both at the source and at the binary level. More about the later we'll be seeing how we are doing it. So then Java also provides for portable programming. So what do we mean by this portable? So the dictionary meaning of portable means what? If we say some 20, 30 years, 30 or 40 years down the line, every one of us were having only desktops, and carrying desktops is very difficult. So nowadays you can see maximum desktops are ruled out. Why? What is the reason why the desktops are very less? Why the desktop systems are very less? Can anyone say why you people have not purchased desktop? Why did you buy laptops?
It's not portable. You cannot carry it everywhere.
Yes, true. So that's the reason. True, it is very true. See, when we were studying, we were using desktops initial days. But now what we have done, we don't have space at house. Space also becomes problem, and I want to carry this to college also. I want to carry my laptop to college. Then it is very portable. So it is easy. I can keep it in bag and carry them wherever I want. I can carry. So the same way, how the difference between desktop and laptop, same way here even Java programs. Why this portable means, now what are the different operating systems we have? What are the different operating systems we have? Everyone in your laptops, you'll be having some operating system. What type of operating systems you are using? I'm using Windows. How about others?
Linux, Mac, Parrot OS.
Okay, so there are so many. Okay, there are so many other operating systems available. So if I type my Java program in my Windows and give to my students who have their Linux operating system, should my program work or it should not work?
Ma'am, it should work.
It should work. Definitely it should work. So whichever operating system I have, the same thing. Okay, one more example I'll give you. So now what we do, let me say you are doing some project. Some project you're doing. So then what you do, you type everything about your project in a Word and take that to the printing. And you printed, you formatted everything perfectly, you have done in your Word. So then you go to printing shop and you give for printing. Then after you take out the printout, you could see that their formatting is not proper. Why? Why it is so? Why it is so? Can anyone say why? Because when you are doing your project report, you have done perfectly in your laptop and you carry them either in mail or pen drive and go to the printout shop and give a printing. Will you get, after printing, you see that there are some problem and you come back to home and you see in your software, when you open it is perfect. Why it is so? You face this situation anytime? Yes or no? At least in your BCA, I think you should have seen this. So what is this problem is compactable problem. What is this compactable problem is, in my laptop, I have Word and I have formatted everything. My version and the desktop, in the wherever I take printout, the version is different and formatting gets disturbed. Yes. So to avoid this, what you people will be doing? To avoid this, what you are doing?
I'm
Yes.
converting to PDF.
Yes, right. So what we are doing, we are trying to convert this. So I don't want all these problems because I have to pay some amount. Suppose if I take color printout, that's it. They'll charge us so much. And why? Suppose if this formatting is problem, my money is gone. And I've spent so much time in formatting, that time is also gone. So to avoid all this, what we do, he rightly told, convert that into PDF and take, so that there will be no problem with the formatting. Same way here, even in Java. So what is this portable programming means? I write or type, execute my program in Windows and I send this program to my students and they are executing in Linux. My program should work and it should be portable. That's the main reason for portable. So along with that, we have something called as an applet. So we have different programming. Either I can write a small program for desktop or either I can write for web. So now what we are doing, we are using the internet. So if I want to run my programs on the internet, we want something else. So for that, we are using something called as an applet. We'll see them, how it is. Along with that, so nowadays, we started using mobiles. So then for mobile also, my program should suit. So for that, we have something else. We see how we do it. But in applets, why we are using applets is applets appears in a web pages. That's what web means, internet. Much in the same way as the images do. But unlike images, applets are dynamic and interactive. So applets can be used to create. Why should we use applets? Applets are used for creating animations, figures, or areas that can respond to input from a reader, games, or other interactive effective on the web, same web pages among the text and graphics. We'll see them in depth about this later. So along with that, what is the key features of Java? Main thing, security. So nowadays, so now suppose if you are going out, can we go out now? What is the right now we have? till this month 24th, what is there?
Lockdown.
Lockdown. So can we go out?
No.
Can we? No. Why? Okay, suppose let me say you would have seen so many videos. Someone is moving out, their bike is being grabbed by police, and it is there in the police station. Why it is so? Why the police are doing that? Yes, why they are doing? Unwanted.
They are violating the rules, ma'am.
They are violating the rules. Why they are violating the rules? Okay, why the police want it to be like that? Why the police don't want us to roam outside?
So the virus couldn't spread, ma'am.
Yeah, true. So the virus should stop, and it should not spread to other people unnecessarily. And people, they don't want people to roam around. So same way here, what it is doing, Java is secured. So now if I send, if now you can see, we download so many things in the internet, and when I'm downloading, I should not get virus also when I'm downloading. Yes, that is key feature what Java is taking care. So when I'm downloading only what I want, I should get downloaded. I don't want virus to be downloaded. So that is a thing about security. Portability, I told. Platform independent. Platform independent means I have Windows, my students may have Linux, one more student may have Mac, one more student may have Solaris, one more may have some other things. So then whenever I send my programs, it should work in any operating system. That's why it is called as a portable. When we download any application from the internet, there is a chance that download code contains virus. But downloading the Java code assures security. Java program can run on any type of system connected to internet and thus provides a portability. So that's the main reason why we require a Java. So Java is object-oriented, true. Structure in terms of class, which group data with operations on the data. Can construct new class by extending existing ones. Java designed as core language plus a rich collection of commonly available packages. Java can be embedded in web pages. So that's what here, easy for us to learn the web pages. So what is the origin? When, how the Java has come into existence? Who was a person who has invented Java? It's a person called as you can see their picture, James Gosling initially initiated Java language project in the June 1991. So in the 1991, he started the language. Initially, they didn't give the name as Java initial starting. So initially they gave a name called as a oak. You can see down there is a tree. So they thought that they can give as a oak, where it represents that tree, oak tree. Later, they renamed it as a Java. So they felt why oak, then they renamed it as a Java. Sun released the first public implementation of Java 1.0 in 1995. So it promised write once, run anywhere. So that's what here, this is main important thing for Java. It promised write once. Write once means what? I write only one time. I type my program only one time. I type my project only one. Either it may be in Windows, either it may be in Linux, either it may be anything. I can run that anywhere. I can run in Windows platform. I can run in Unix, Linux, anywhere. So that is the thing where WORA stands for. Write once. I can write one time my project. I can run anywhere. Either it is in Windows, either it is in Unix, either it is in Linux. That is very important characteristics of Java. That's how here in the year 1995, the first version. So version, they started having a versions Java 1.0. So we'll see them how it is. So this is about the origin of Java. So who was a person who invented Java? Java was initially started with James Gosling in the year 1991. And initially they didn't call it as Java, they called it as a oak. Why oak? For a oak tree, they called it as oak. Later they renamed it and called it as a Java. what is important characteristics of Java is write once, run anywhere. This you cannot forget. Whenever you can even when you attend the interviews also, placement training also, if companies comes, you definitely they'll ask. You have to remember this. It promised write once, run anywhere. Means what? Definitely, if you give this answer, they also the company people will feel happy that you know about Java. So you have to remember this. Write once, run anywhere. So this is an important point of Java. So that's about the origin of Java. So then what is Java? Platform independent, I have just explained you. Platform independent is a program capability of moving easily from one computer system to another. Platform independent is one of the most significant advantage that Java has over other programming language, particularly from for systems that need to work on many different platforms. Java is platform independent at both the source and the binary level. So then two things which we have to remember about the platform independent. Operating system independent, that's what I told. You take it any operating system, it should, your program should work independent of operating system on which your source code is being run. Then hardware independent. My laptop is i7. Maybe my students are using high-end i10. Maybe some students who are very poor, they may be using i3 also, lesser version of laptops, but still the Java should work. So that's what here hardware independent, does not depend upon the hardware on which your Java code is running upon. That is, it can run any hardware configuration. Maybe latest versions you can see laptops also we have touch screen, monitors also touch screen. Some people may be using virtual keyboard. Still my program should work. So that's what a hardware independent. These 2 points make it platform independent language. Hence the user do not have to change the syntax of program according to the operating system, and do not have to compile the program again and again on different operating systems. The meaning of this point can be understood. That's the main thing about platform independence. Why do we have a Java, a difference between C and C++? C and C++ are platform dependent language. That's the reason I'm stressing you, platform dependent. Means what? Either you write any program in C or C++ and you run the same program in some other operating system, you have to change something. So that's the reason here Java is independent. You can run anything, as the file which compile of C and C++ forms a executable file. So how it is different? C and C++ programs, when you execute or compile, run the programs, it will be converting your code to a machine language. But how the machine language is converted and stored? It is stored in an executable file, that is exe files, which is operating dependent. So if I am running my program in Windows and Turbo C I'm using, let me say, and same program, if some other person is trying to run the program in Linux in Borland C, then you have to, not logic, at least some syntax you have to change. It may say some will be using public access specifier, some will not accept. All these problems will be there with when you are saying with the operating system dependent. So that's the main thing here. Java, this problem is not there. So then C++ program is controlled by the operating system. So one thing, C and C++ programs, when we execute, it will be controlled by the operating system. But whereas Java is not so. Java is controlled by JVM. What is this JVM? We'll see that. At least the full form of JVM is Java Virtual Machine. We'll see what it is. So how this Java contributed to internet? So how I can run my Java programs, or how I can develop internet programming with the Java? Yes, we can do it. But how? Using the applet. So applet, using the applet programming, we can create internet programming. So Java involved a new type of internet programming called as applet. So then what is a Java applet? Java, it's also a program designed to be transmitted over the internet and automatically executed by Java compatible web browsers. What is Java applet? The team turned to work upon Java technology based clone of Mosaic. They named initially what they named, they didn't call it as applet. Instead of calling applet, initially they called it as a web runner. So after they move, they felt that web runner was not looking good, later to become officially known as hot Java. So they called it as a hot Java browser. It was in 1994. So web runner was just a demo, but an impressive one. It brought to life for the first time animated moving objects and dynamic executable content inside a web browser. Then they called it as a applet. What are the key features? I told security. Security is very good in Java. So secure with Java secure features, it enables to develop virus free. So that's what I told. Whenever we are downloading, when I'm downloading, along with downloading, I should not get a virus. So Java will take care. So that is virus free. Tamper free system. Whenever I am downloading any virus, along with that, it may tamper my operating system. So that is also not happening. Then authentication techniques are based on public key encryption. So the same way, when you log in into your Gmails or anything, you may require authentication, means username and password. Even nowadays, you can see, at least initially, even in the mobile also, basic mobile, we were not having all this authentication. Now you can see in your mobiles, every one of us, either we keep a fingerprint, either we can keep a pattern matching. Why all this? Because authentication. No one should check my mobile. So that is how the authentication also there in the Java. And portable, I spoke about portable. What is a portable? Being architectural neutral and having no implementation dependent aspects of specific specification makes Java portable. Compiler in Java is written in ANSI C with a clean portable boundary, which is a POX subset. What is the solution? So I told bytecode. So what is this bytecode? We'll see what is this bytecode. Just now I told exe files. C and C++, when you execute your error-free program, you'll get your output. So once you get the output, it will be converting your program to a exe file, your project. Let me say your C and C++ projects also. Once you complete your project, if your project is working, then you'll be having a exe file. Whereas in Java, we have some in between. I will see what is that in between. So the JVM is a Java runtime system and is a main component of making Java platform independent language. For building and running a Java application, we need a JDK. So what is this JDK? JDK is something called Java Development Kit, which comes bundled with a Java runtime, JRE, and a JVM. With the help of JDK, a user compiles and runs Java program. As the compilation of Java program starts the Java. Bytecode is created, that is .class files is created by JRE. Bytecode is highly optimized set of instructions designed to be executed by JVM. Now JVM comes to play, which is made to read and execute this bytecode. Okay, so this is about the thing. So let me say, what is this bytecode? So now I have typed my Java program. What is that? For my first Java program, we'll see what is the syntax. My program is ready, small program. I just want to print a hello world. Then I write a small Java program. First, what we have to do, what is the first step? I have to compile. Why should I compile? I should compile to see that there are no mistakes, there are no errors in my program. Okay, I have compiled. After that, I have to run. When I'm running, if there are no errors, I'll get my output. Yes, so this is a process we do. So when C and C++, you're getting exe file, whereas here in Java, in between, we have something called as a bytecode. What is this bytecode is, once we run our Java program, it is converted first to a bytecode, later to a class files. So that's how here, that's the reason, because it is a bytecode, this bytecode can be carried to any platform, either it is Windows, Linux, anything. That's the reason the bytecode is required. So that who is doing this? This is done by a JVM. Then JRE. What is this JVM and JRE is? JRE is Java runtime environment. When I'm running my program, one more thing I want to stress you. You people will be knowing what is compiler and interpreter. What's the difference between compiler and interpreter? Can anyone answer what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Know about compiler?
Ma'am, compiler scans the entire program, ma'am.
Very good.
And
Okay.
interpreter checks for single line. If the error occurred, it will display, ma'am.
Yes, true. True. That is true. So what compiler will be doing? Complete program, it will be scanning at one stretch. So that is what compiler. What is interpreter is doing? One line, next line. Okay. So you would have seen C and C++, either it any other language before Java, either it may be compiler or it may be interpreter. So whereas Java is using both. So that's the reason in between the compiler will be converting everything, complete program into bytecode. Later, this bytecode will be converted using interpreter line by line to a class file. That's the reason here Java will be using both. So if they ask you in the placement whether Java is a compiler or interpreter, you can say it is Java is using both. Okay, JVM is linked with the operating system and runs the bytecode to executable. That's what just now I have explained, to execute the code depending upon the operating system. Therefore, a user can take this class file, that is bytecode, formed to any operating system which have a JVM installed, and can run his program easily without touching syntax of the program and without actually having a source code. So the class file which contains the bytecode is not user understandable and can be interpreted by a JVM only to build into a machine code. Okay. So before we move on, what is a Java? So I'll stop here. Only 4 minutes is left. So let me complete taking the attendance. I think you people will be knowing your question, or you want me to call your names? If I start calling your names, I think I may short run with the time. It's okay. Today first day. Let me start. Today's date is 15. Question 1, Anaga. Answer fast.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash.
Yes, ma'am.
Akil.
Yes, ma'am.
Akrut.
Yes, ma'am.
Akash. Akash. Anusha. Arvind.
Yes, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Arful.
Arifullah, ma'am, present.
Arifullah. Beneka.
Present, ma'am.
Benekar. Banu Prakash.
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav.
Yes, ma'am.
How should I spell next person name?
Rahmatullah, ma'am, present, ma'am.
How should I spell your name?
Rahmatullah, ma'am, RAHAMTHULLA.
But here I got something else. BUDD.
Budde Bhai, ma'am.
Huh. What is your name? I have to spell. Okay, I'll see to that later. Okay. Okay. Chaitra.
Present, ma'am.
Chandana.
Present, ma'am.
Charan.
Yes, ma'am.
Darshan.
Present, ma'am.
Diksha. Dakshayani.
Present, ma'am.
Kishan.
Present, ma'am.
Arshit. Emalata.
Present, ma'am.
Kumu.
Present, ma'am.
Jayanti.
Jayant, ma'am.
Divya. Sorry, Jayant. Divya.
Present, ma'am.
Divya. Divya is present. Kaushik,
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi, Lavanya, Manish,
Present,
Manish,
ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Manoj.
Ma'am, Lavanya
Present, ma'am.
present, ma'am.
Okay. Manoj.
And Ma'am, Lakshmi to present. She has put in chat box.
Yeah, I marked.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Mohit,
Yes, ma'am.
Naval. Naval, should I spell it as
Yes,
Naval?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Navya,
And
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil,
Present, ma'am.
Anindra,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan,
Present, ma'am.
Pooja,
Present, ma'am.
Purnima,
Present, ma'am.
Raman,
Yes, ma'am.
Rashmi,
Yes, ma'am.
Rupak,
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar,
Yes, ma'am.
Samir,
Present, ma'am.
Santosh, Sahadab, Sharan,
Yes, ma'am.
Shashank,
Yes, ma'am.
Sheetal,
Present, ma'am.
Shivani,
Present, ma'am.
Soumya,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas,
Present, ma'am.
Sugandhini,
Present, ma'am.
Sushma, Sushmita,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita, you,
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha,
ma'am.
Trupti,
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Varsha,
Present, ma'am.
Veena, yeah, Tirtha present, marked. Okay, so we'll stop here. Jayant, yeah. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class.